All right, hello everybody. I am in hour 3.5 of a 6 hour layover in Beijing right now, returning home from my amazing trip in Thailand. And I'm tired as hell, as you can see from my eyes. But I just wanted to share a bit of what's going on in my mind right now as I'm sitting here at this gate. And I wanted to share with you all basically how blessed I feel or blessed I've been all my life. Um, on my way to the, like, I guess in the planning of this trip, I decided that I was going to go on my own. I wasn't going to really tell anyone until it was time to go because I just wanted to do it and I didn't want to have any apprehensions or anybody's fears being placed on me because pretty much I'm traveling all the way across the world, and I understand that people would be concerned for me, especially since the only solo trip I've ever done was to go to Canada, which is only a hop, skip, and a jump away. So this is a lot more at stake to travel across the world. But it was important for me to do it because one, I was seeking something else to be exposed to outside of the norm. This whole Donald Trump stuff that I kept hearing and you keep seeing on your YouTube, on your Facebook, and everything, it was wearing me down. But also just people in general focusing on a lot of negative stuff. And then I think a lot of people talked about how 2016 wasn't a great year for them, including me. It wasn't a horrible year, but it wasn't a great year for me. So I wanted to make sure that in 2017 I was going to get it started with some great things. So I'm just going to list some great things that's happened to me involving this trip, in the process of this trip and everything that came afterwards. But first, I'll just start with something that was I probably wasn't going to talk about it first, but the fact that my boss actually allowed me to extend my vacation that I had previously asked for in advance. She allowed me to extend it because she was concerned that I looked stressed at work and that I was unhappy, and she's not used to me being unhappy. So I talked to her and I expressed to her how important it was for me to get away. She didn't even ask where I was going. She just said, okay, it took some talking, but I really do appreciate that gesture in general. She did not have to do that. She did not have to approve it. Another thing is my mom. So, if you know me, you know my mom, and you know that she's very, very concerned about her baby boy, right? So when I first told my mom that I was going to Thailand, she took it so well. It was unbelievable. I thought she was going to be like, oh Lord, oh my God, not my baby, not across the world. But she just said, wow, okay, son, well, I hope you have a good time, and maybe you get some spirituality or whatever you need. But we'll see you when you get back. I'm like, wow, okay. So I appreciated that because that's so out of the norm for my mom, and not in a bad way, but it's just she's a mom, you know what I mean. But this time she was very different about it because she knows that this obviously was important to me. The other thing I want to talk about is my coworkers, who are also my friends. I expressed to them how I didn't want very many people knowing about this trip. So I've been mulling it over, so they've been getting parts of my plans a little bit before other people because I'm with them more than I am with my other friends and my family. So they get an opportunity to pretty much know my planning process, or at least tidbits of it. But the fact that they held somewhat of a secret in for so long, I just appreciate that because they really, valued the words and my feelings, I guess. But also, on my last day, they surprised me with a going away lunch. And when I came in to work that day, I saw the decorations and the food laid out, or about to be laid out, and I didn't say anything because I was kind of taken aback because they didn't have to do that. But that was really cool, and I really appreciate that. I felt like I was already like, wow, I'm about to leave with some good vibes. I'm about to leave for this trip with some good vibes. But then I also have I have a one of my coworkers. She's very new to my work area. She was genuinely, I guess, upset, but not really. But she was genuinely like, wow, she's gonna miss me. But she felt a little left out that I didn't say anything. But after I told her why, she just expressed that she was going to miss me. And I think, wow, when people miss you, that's important. Like she barely knows me, but she's been getting to know me over these weeks that she's been there, and the fact that she bonded with me, and she's expressing like all these positive things she hopes happens to me while I'm there. So that was great. Now my sisters. If you don't know, I have 3 sisters. I don't really post a lot about them because 2 of them prefer not to be on social media. And but for years, I'm the baby boy and I'm the only boy. So of course we all know that there's a certain sense of more attention that may or may not be displayed on me. But for years, my sisters have always been supportive. They've never try to tear me down or make me feel less or showing any type of like severe jealousy or something like that. They just support the hell out of me. And for years it's been like that. Like, I don't know, my childhood has been so amazing, particularly because of them. And my oldest sister, she's along the way the whole time. She's been motivating me and just not motivating, but supporting me on this trip. And I see her little chime-ins here and there as I post the pictures. I've tried not to bombard you guys with all my pictures that I have, because I have like probably over 300, 400 pictures probably. So I'll post a collage later. But I'm a skip. I get to Bangkok, and it was a huge delay on the way there. So pretty much the first tour that we had, that I had, this is my solo trip, but it was a traveling group that was amongst the package that I bought. And so it was kind of like you land, you might have like a good hour or 2 to get some sleep, but it's time to go to the package. That's how late we got. I'm go to the tour that became a part of the package in a few hours later. So I didn't really get sleep. So I was tired, but the first night out, I'm just trying to get some nightlife, and I'm just wandering around the city, well, close to our hotel. And I met a guy who was like, "You from the United States?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay, well, you got to go here. He wasn't a local either, but he had been to Thailand more than I have, obviously. And then he was like, "As a matter of fact, I'll take you to the place." It was only a few blocks or whatever, but took me to the spot, got me some authentic Thai food, paid for it. It was like, yeah, man, next time go here, and you're good. So I'm like, damn, that's the first nightlife experience I got. Random strangers just friendly enough to just show me around and pay for a drink and some food, for me. So I'm like, okay, wow, this trip is already starting off great. As time goes on, I start to, get used to what would otherwise be strangers to me that's a part of this group, this traveling group. They chose the same package as me, or similar package to me. Mine was Bangkok to a city called Chiang Mai. Some people went to Bangkok and Phuket and everything, but that's another story. The point is, I bonded with these people through our shared experiences, and I never thought that was going to happen. I didn't expect for that to happen because that's not what I was traveling for. I was just trying to do my own thing. But to have people ask for your contact information to maintain some type of relationship with you, but then to also use that information to call and check on you when you do your separate thing, or because they know you're not going to be in the same area as everyone else. Because there was a time where I kind of separated from the group to do my own thing. That wasn't a part of the package. It wasn't anything else. I wanted to. I hopped on a plane to go to a beach area, the island of Phuket. That wasn't part of my package, but I wanted to do it because who knows the next time I'm going to be in Thailand, right? And I had people check on me, strangers, right? Check on me, and even when it was time for us to go and leave to come home, I had somebody check on me, call me up. It was like, hey, we're leaving. We want to make sure you're going to get on the van with us. People sharing their food with me, sharing their experiences with me. It was a lot of couples on the trip. And so there was some bit of a, not amazement, but interest with me traveling solo. But man, so I've met people who just have all these different talents, these different ideas of what a traveling experience should be and could be. And it was really cool connecting with them. So if you guys are looking at this video, peace, cool people. Oh my God, I'm glad I met you guys. But oh man, this trip was amazing. You know what I mean? This trip was amazing. The biggest thing was for me to go and interact with elephants. That's odd, right? But as a child, I've always loved elephants. I wanted to just it was just a childhood dream to just kind of interact with elephants on a close-up level. I never was the kid that wanted to ride the elephants at the Barnum and Bailey Circus. I wanted to interact with them. I wanted to know why they move the way they move and everything. I was very interested in that. Always watching the wildlife series on PBS, all that stuff. So that was pretty much how I determined this trip's destination. It was Africa at first, but I realized I wanted more than just a safari ride. I wanted to interact with them. So I did my research, and the first thing I found out was, in Thailand, you can really interact with a whole bunch of different elephants all over the daggone area, but make sure that you don't support certain, I guess not sanctuaries, but businesses that offer the elephant rides or so, because 9 times out of 10 they've put their animals through what's called the crush, which is kind of when they crush their spirits or whatever when they're young elephants. And it was part of our package. You can engage that way where they have the riding, and you can walk with them through the forest and stuff like that, but you're more so on elephant back. And I didn't want to do that, so I opted out of that package because I went to this place called the Elephant Nature Park, and that was in Chiang Mai. So I went there on my own, and maybe 2 other people from my travel group happened to have did the same research, but they wasn't part of my group when I went there. So I met a whole set of other people who was just amazing too. And this lady in particular, Wendy, she says, thank you, because I was taking a picture of her with the elephant, and she says, thank you. And I said, oh, sure, the picture's no problem, sure, I'll take a picture of anybody, She's like, no, thank you for experiencing this with me. What? Wow, wait, that's not common for me, you know what I mean? She's thanking me for having an experience with her. I think that way, but it's hard for me to find people that think similarly, so I thought that was so damn cool. And then, it was these 3 3 ladies, another young guy and another young lady. So it was a small, intimate group, and we're just walking through this park, and elephants are just right there, and none of us were like, oh God, running from them or nothing, panicking. We were just all there for the same experience, and we got to share it together, and we also exchange information and everything else. And I think within hours, I was already being tagged on their video experiences. So I get to share their lives or their life experience with their friends on social media and everything else. And I'm like, wow, like this is amazing. My entire life has been full of blessings. My childhood was amazing. I have people from my old hood, like if anybody was supposed to make it out, Rome was supposed to be that one. And I think like when people feel that strongly about you, you gotta be a good person. You gotta do good. And I'm like, I have my what I call my angels. Is I have like maybe like 9 or whatever the count is. I have some ladies in my life in particular who are always surrounding me with love and support almost all the time, and all the time, yeah. And they are constant in my life, and some of them are threatening, like they better not do nothing to you while you're over Thailand, because we'll come and get them. We'll everything from we'll make sure you have this, that, and the other. From keeping the secret, like don't tell them to ride. Not secret, but just keeping it to themselves, keeping my business, allowing me the opportunity to tell people when I want to, even if they knew before certain people or something like that, asking for nothing but, all right, well, just make sure you please just check in. I love y'all. And I mean, oh my God. Then I got one of my coworkers who's making sure he's keeping a list of all the crazy stuff that goes on at work. You know what I mean? So that's like, wow, like, people thinking about you in your absence. I got teachers who are chiming in on my pictures and sending me blessings. Teachers from middle school, you know what I mean? I'm 33, so that was like 20 years ago. So people who were in my life in the beginning, you know what I mean, are still here. And still care about me, or even more. I have family members on both sides, so my dad and my mom's side. And how does your whole entire family support you? Like that's so rare. I don't see that. Like, my entire family deals with me. My entire family checks in on me and genuinely cares about what I'm doing. How I'm doing. And I had a family member actually, she kind of like made me tear up, I'm not gonna lie, because she wrote a whole Facebook page I mean a whole like an essay about how she likes to come and check my page. Like wow, you know what I mean? So my friend Shannon always tells me you never know who you're impacting, from your page alone, so that's so cool. But like both sides of my family, like for years, first of all, both sides of my family love each other, you know what I mean? And let alone love me, you know what I mean? So I think it's an amazing thing. Another thing I wanted to point out, I met another guy who was there, who's a native, and I told him that obviously I'm American, whatever, getting from my voice. And he's like, oh, are you on holiday? Instead of saying vacation, they say you're on holiday. I say, yeah. And he says, okay, where what you doing and everything? What are you doing here? I told him, what my package includes, all the tours and stuff, all the different temples that we got to visit. And by the way, let me stop right there real quick. Our tour guides and many of the other teachings and stuff you'll see at the temples, they talked about some of the main things that Thai people focus on, and it's worship, respect for the king, respect for Buddha, obviously, and I kept hearing no adultery, and I was thinking to myself, this idea of companionship and like partnership is very important for them. And it was kind of like, that's so cool, because over here I know it's a joke a lot, but it's become commonplace that we talk about our side pieces as if it's supposed to be, And not saying that Thai people don't have that going on either, but I'm just saying that their focus is not about how many people they can add to their body count, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It was about finding life partners and partnerships for life, you know what I mean? Or at least for a long time. And it's not about your side pieces and, fucking around. Excuse my language, but pretty much that's what we do here in America. So I thought that was very important because their way of life seems so chill. Particularly when I went to Phuket, which is pretty much an island, so you got a lot of beach life going on, and everybody was just so chill and calm. I had a taxi driver wait for me. I get off the airplane when I arrived in Phuket. Get off the airplane, I catch a cab, and I tell him I want to go to a quiet beach. I know it's one around here close to the airport. He said, "Oh, you're talking about Neon, whatever. I can't remember the name right now." Took me there. It was like 7 minutes, and he was like, "You want me to wait for you?" And I was like, "Oh no, because I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here." So I got there, chilled on the beach, got some coconut ice cream, which was great, and then it was time for me to go to this horseback riding experience that I wanted to do on the beach. So in order for me to get there, I knew it was like a half hour or so to get there from where I was at. So I go up to a lady at the booth, the traveling booth, and I say, "Hey, I need to go to blah, blah, blah beach next." She's talking to a cab driver right there. He takes me and asks me, "Do you want me to wait for you?" I say, "Yeah, sure. My horseback riding experience was supposed to be like an hour." He said, "Okay, no problem." He waited the entire hour. He waited, like seriously waited. And then he took me to another beach and waited an hour and 15 minutes for me. And then took me back to the airport. I went to 3 beaches, rode a horse, had some coconut ice cream because that was on my to-do list. And I think I paid him a total of maybe $40, $42. He waited for me to go to 2 beaches. Well, the beach was the horseback riding experience too, but he waited multiple hours for $42, son, and took me to the airport. Anyway, back to the guy, the second guy who was asking me about me being on holiday or AKA vacation. And I said, "Yeah, next, I'm only here, Bangkok, I'm here for this last day, and then I'm going over, they're flying us to Chiang Mai." And he was like, "Oh, okay, I've never been to Chiang Mai. I live in Thailand all my life, but I've never been to Chiang Mai in particular." And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, it's cool, blah, 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 blah." He said, "Well, maybe I'll come out there and maybe we can hang out." And I said, "What do you plan on doing out there?" I said, "Well, I have this one thing I'm doing, that's with the elephants I told you guys about. But after that, the other days, I'm just going to be chilling." "All right, well, maybe we can come up with something to do. And if you want," and I said, "Sure, come on out." I'm thinking like, whatever, like you got to catch a plane out there. Like, dude caught a plane, came out there, paid for me because I told him I like zoos. I always visit zoos no matter what city I go to. Or at least try to. I have not a bucket list, but I have a list, an ongoing list. But that's my own personal stuff. Point is, came out there, paid for me to go to the zoo. And then we went to this temple that he had always wanted to go to. And it was like up in the mountains. Like we were really, really high up. And I'm like, how does this happen? I got treated around the city by a stranger. You know what I mean? So I'm like, life is so amazing. And you know how you go looking for something, but you don't know what you're going to find? Pretty much what happened to me. So I'm obviously emotional right now, because it's just unbelievable, you know what I mean? But then to have the people check in on me on Facebook the few times I had Wi-Fi because I was not paying for no extra internet. But anyway, so when I had Wi-Fi at my hotel or the few spots that had free Wi-Fi, I would check in on social media here and there, and I would just see how people are checking in, showing me, giving me even more love, and this goes back to like again my childhood and just the people that's been involved. I was just thinking about all of that stuff while I'm here. And how I realized that, I wasn't being, I guess it could come off as pessimistic, but before I traveled, I wanted to make sure I talked about what happens if I don't come back? You know what I mean? Because I think that's important to have that plan so that you won't be scrambling if something does happen to me. I know that's morbid or so, but it's a possibility. You know, these planes, foreign planes, you know, maybe go down over the sea, overseas. You know what I mean? But even with me talking about that, my friends and my mom in particular showed patience with me. I know they hate when I talk about that stuff, but I live in a city that has 300 plus murders a year. You know what I mean? So death is a commonplace thing. But once I got to Bangkok and Thailand in general, and I'm thinking like, wow, look at life. You know what I mean? So I don't mean to talk about death so much. Well, at that time, talking about death, but like life is great. So I just wish people spend more time talking about positive stuff. I'm not going to say don't post negative things on your social media, because what I might consider negatives, you might consider being informed or informative to someone else. But I just will say, spend some time also doing something positive in people's lives. You know, I got maybe a couple of students that I worked with over the years following me. You know what I mean? I checked. Wow, I got I don't know. I got people just who really showed love and support for this. That's all I can keep saying. I'm losing my words and I'm tired. But I just want everybody to be good to each other. Be positive, you know what I mean? And like do some things out of your norm. You know, they always talk about how a lot of Baltimoreans never get off their block. Just get off your block. Experience some different shit. You know what I mean? You definitely have the capability, whether you believe it or not. Maybe it won't be a trip across the world, but just do something else out of your norm. But do something that's going to benefit someone else too, outside of yourself, because that reward is just amazing. I think that's what I'm reaping right now. And that's what I have been reaping, those rewards. My dad, I wish he could see it. You know, my dad died in 2002, but I wish he can see like all the stuff that's going on, because it's like amazing. You know what I mean? I don't think he could imagine all this stuff. You know what I mean? But one thing he did was always brag about me. My dad was a big bragger, and I think that he would really appreciate all the stuff that's happening, or what's been happening. So anyway, I'm going to get off because I'm about to tear up and everything else. But I just want to say that just thank you everybody. My uncle, who was the first person to show me like the Family Guy. My Uncle Ron, who's just like always taking families in a group somewhere and traveling. You know what I mean? Like that was me. That is still me. You know what I mean? But my aunt, I have an aunt that's pushing almost 90, who's the person that would just get up and go. Like my Aunt Irma, if everybody know. She inspires me. This trip was I can see a little bit of that in this trip. You know, my cousin TJ, who always makes sure he travels by saving some money, but also getting a great experience. You know what I mean? So he was the first person to put me on a plane, and now here I am flying across the world. You know what I mean? My best friend, Curtis, and his mom, Miss Mona, because they were the first people, to kind of, as a kid, to get me off my block. You know, I was traveling, even though it was just up and down the East Coast, it was outside of my block. It was exposing me, and you never know what exposing someone will do for their future. That's why I'm really big on exposure. If you work with kids, expose them to everything, and then let it come what may. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of people who inspire me. I can't think everything right now, but I just think about that type of stuff. You never know what you're gonna do, for someone by exposing them to something. So just make sure you do that in your life. Expose somebody younger than you, or somebody who has a greater need than you, because the reward is so great. The reward is so amazing. Um, I'm not a particularly religious person. You'll notice that from my posts. I don't ever really post about religious stuff, but I can say that there there is definitely something that is blessing me or has been blessing me. You know what I mean? Is evident. Like it really honestly makes no sense how streamlined my blessings have been. It's literally been like this. Like in my entire let me follow my hands, follow my fingers. That's my entire life since birth. Like it makes no sense. So I'm like super duper blessed. I'm in Beijing right now, and I'm sitting in, I'm in Beijing right now, and I'm sitting at the airport. And they don't accept no currency except the Chinese yuan. I think that's how you say it. So I'm like, okay, well, I go over there to the currency exchange booth, and they're like, oh, we don't accept debit card, though. So I'm like, but it's a currency exchange. But okay. So I still had some Thai baht that my friend gave to me. What are the odds? Because I ran out of my own my US dollar bills. So all I had as far as cash was the Thai baht that my friend gave to me. So I got something to eat because I got this long ass layover, and Jerome don't like to be hungry. So I don't know, y'all. It's just a blessing. I'm gonna get off because I'm ranting now. But love y'all. This is a gray hair. This is not Lent. So if you've been watching it and you're like, your OCD is kicking in, it's just a gray hair. That's all. I'll see y'all when I get back, and love y'all. Peace.